Now we're live. There we go. To billions of people around the world, we are live. Billions and billions of people. I am live with Chastity Snowden, who has the last couple of weeks been very gracious enough to bring some coaching friends on with her. And today we have Jen Johnston. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. How are you?
I am good. Let me double check and make sure we are live. Oh, absolutely. We look great. I'm on my page. We look great. All three of us just look fantastic. Yeah, that's me too. Make sure. No, see, I'm at the stage of my life where I just got to make sure the glare is not too bad. I'm blind people. So Chas is in Florida. We talked to Renee, who's in New York. Is that right?
Australia.
No, Renee. Oh no, Renee's in Australia. Yeah. Zeus is in Slovakia. Where's the nutritional coach though? Where's she at?
Oh, Boston.
Boston.
Amanda's in Boston.
Amanda, I'm sorry. So and you, Miss Johnson, are in Denver.
I am. Yeah.
Chas, do you have any? You have friends locally with you, right? Though I mean, it's not by yourself.
No, I just talk to my phone all day, every day. So I figured I'd just get coaches. I could talk to my phone and see them.
I can tell you right now the name of her best friend, Marco Polo.
Yes,
that's the name.
That is my best friend. A good guy.
Hey, so here's what I want to do, if you don't mind. And I told you a little bit, Jim, how this is going to work. I've got some screenshots that we're going to talk about and some questions about the coaching and nutrition side. But how were you coached? I'm assuming it's dangerous to assume. Did you coach? Did you get coached before you became a coach?
Yes. Yeah.
What got you into being coached? Was it CrossFit, nutrition, just general health? What pulled you towards looking for a coach?
Are you talking more in the realm of nutrition, I assume?
Yeah, either one, nutrition or CrossFit. How did you get into the coaching? What was your first experience with a coach?
My first experience with a coach was it was a nutrition coach, and it was probably 5 years ago.
Wow. And what pulled you into it? What, because a lot of people want to do good at nutrition. You know, we all want to, but very few people seek out a nutrition coach.
Yeah. I think a lot of it came from my own personal health issues and struggles that I had over the years. And nutrition was something that I was always really interested in. So the more I started to learn myself, actually, interesting enough, and Chastity will probably think this is funny, but every nutrition coach I found was through a podcast. I am a serial podcast listener. So every nutrition coach I ever heard of was either on a podcast I was listening to, or someone had mentioned that they were working with that specific company. And so I had experienced a couple different nutrition coaches before I landed on Chastity.
What do you like about coaching? What do you like about being coached? And that's a two-part question. And now that you're into this side of it, do you still have a coach, and do you still like being coached?
Yes. I still have a coach. I still enjoy being coached because coaches need coaches, and you'll hear that a lot, but it's true. I mean, I think some of the most successful people that I know still have coaches because you're constantly learning. And I think in order to be a good coach, part of that is continually learning and growing yourself, and never believing that you know everything. So that's, I think, I'll always have a coach in some aspect, whether it's, directly, indirectly, whether I'm going through some sort of coaching program. And then my favorite part about coaching is, I think, just the constant evolution of, those aha moments for people, and being able to take everything that I learn and just share that with people, because, they say the true staple of being able to know something is to be able to teach it to someone. And so when I'm constantly teaching these things to people, I'm constantly reminding myself of what I'm teaching.
And I want to come back to that, teaching people. And when you see me look away, I'm making notes so I can, somehow, because my brain, if I don't break it, that's like just snowflakes. They just go away. But one of the things that I found about successful people, because I deal on the business side more, is successful people, a lot of times, the ones that are truly staying up, they're in their game and they stay there for long periods of time, are the ones that seek out not conflict, but they seek out that rub. They seek out having other voices and perspectives around them. They seek out that accountability because you may know as much as Susan or Tom or Chastity, but the way that they communicate it with you is different. And sometimes just having someone else that when you say something to, it sounds stupid. You know what I'm saying? I've said stuff to people. I go, well, I just can't do it because I'm just too busy. Holy crap, that sounds like an excuse, doesn't it? And the other person just sits there and goes, yes, thank you. Yes, it does. But don't you agree the perspective matters? It's not so much the knowledge. I mean, knowledge is important, but just the way people see things differently.
Oh, absolutely. I think, a lot of times when you're coaching someone, you're just asking them questions and they're answering their own questions a lot of the time. I think the art of coaching is knowing the right questions to ask. And that's something that as you get to know someone, you learn what questions to ask. So
Chaz, are you guys constantly working on your stories? Because one thing I tell salespeople is people don't buy from brands or slogans or bumper stickers. People invest time and money with people, and people like stories. So if I'm going to be a coach, I got to have I would think I've got to have a pretty compelling story that people can gravitate to.
Yeah. I mean, I think that we work on not only our story from our past, but we're always creating new stories. Even inside the company, inside the FLA movement, like we created the BFLA challenge, or, Zeus has a story of going to train to go compete. Jen's constantly doing new things and learning new things and changing her story, and it's like we're constantly telling the story of our life anyway. But yeah, I think we're constantly working on our story.
Isn't it cool when you have a group of people, and I refer to your group because it's an organized group, but even if loose groups, like I tell people in business, hey, pick 5 people. Some of them can be employees of yours, but pick 5 people. They don't have to be in your industry, that are in different places in their career, but that you admire core principles about, and then spend some time with them on a consistent basis. And what I've found, at least, is it's pretty cool when you get to be part of lifting other people up. So Chastity may need some help from your team today. And so everybody kind of turns and focuses to help Chastity. But then Jen, you may be doing something next week that everybody wants to help promote and have you success. And there's power in that teamwork, because pulling this thing of building your own brand, pulling that sled by yourself can be heavy.
Yeah, that is true.
Do you like that team concept, Jen?
Oh yeah. I mean, I think Chas can attest to this. Like, one of my biggest struggles with what I do is the being alone, in the sense that, you're working by yourself. I'm talking to people, but I'm talking to them remotely. And so having a network of people and like-minded people was something that I was seeking out for a really long time. And I'm much happier now that I have it. Like, that's a big part of, I think, what I look for. And when I think of like long-term, how this is sustainable, is to have people in your corner like that, even if they are, you're talking to them through Marco Polo. So,
What's odd, I have found, and I'll speak from just me. I'm a very social animal from about 9 to 5. And I used to be much more social animal. I mean, I used to be network everywhere, all night, 7 days a week, you name it, but I'm older now and I'm tired. But I'll say this, I think there's a danger the last 2 months when we think this is our social. Mm-hmm. And I love this, by the way. It's good to see you, Jen. I hadn't seen you since one of our groups. I like doing it. But what I think the danger is, I get tired and I feel like I've been around people all day, but I haven't. And yet I miss the people. It's really a weird dynamic because I'm always talking, but I'm never connecting.
Yes.
That's a really long way to ask a question. How in the hell are you guys navigating that? There you go. Are you both social creatures?
Chas, you can go. You can go first.
I'm super social, but I also need my time by myself. But this has been a really interesting time where I felt like all the time I was giving. And then now that we're kind of going back into being social in person, I genuinely felt weird and didn't know how to communicate with somebody. I went to the gym and it was like, I didn't know whether to shake their hand, hug them, or run away. And
all of it. Do all of those things. None of those and all of those. Yes.
None of those and all of those, right? And I was very confused even without having my phone in front of me, communication was confusing. It was almost like, even like with Marco Polo was the way I kind of communicate with people. So I leave a message, I go do something. Then I go back and listen to their message, and the pauses and the communication in person just became very confusing. And it took me about a week to get back into being in the gym and walking past somebody and being able to say hi and have a conversation and then go to the next station. I felt very weird. And I communicate all day long with people, but it is very different in person.
Body language is a big deal. Body language, and it's a huge deal. I mean, I do podcasts, and y'all should read her book. She's done 2 of them about body language, and one of them focuses body language for women in business, and the other one's about politics. Her name is Dr. Donna Van Natten. She's called the Body Language Doctor, and but she'll tell you that most of what we do is nonverbal, and we're missing that. I mean, I can control this. I can do some of it, but in reality, you can't see if I'm back here tapping my fingers, checking my phone. You just can't read it. Jen, how about you? How have you navigated this non-social but very social time?
I think it's been, I go through phases. So if someone were to ask me if I was a social person, I think I have a hard time answering that question, because there are times I'm very social, and there are times where takes a lot of energy for me to be social. So I fluctuate, and I've tried to understand it, but I think where I've landed is that there is no rhyme or reason to it. And sometimes I can be really social and talk to a lot of people in one day, even if it's virtually. And some days I need to take space.
You know what? That's okay. I actually recorded a radio program I do on Sundays with my co-host here about business. It's called Marketing Mix Radio. And we actually talked about when it comes to business or your diet, we brought up nutrition or working out. I've had a couple conversations with folks where they actually said to me, I almost feel weak because I have to watch these motivational videos every day to get stuff done. And I know there's people out there that don't need that. And I said to them, what does it matter? I mean, find what works for you and just kick the crap out of it, because I mean, everybody, that's why motivational videos are out there, is because people need them. And guess what? Those people are getting their motivation from somewhere.
Yep.
But I think you nailed it. I think it's up to you specifically and individually. And if you try to force it, it comes across forced.
Yeah, absolutely.
It doesn't come across organic at all. All right. So let me go through my little list here. So, and we'll come back to some more deep nutritional stuff here in just a second. But right now, so you both are CrossFit, correct? You both do CrossFit.
Yes.
Okay.
We both
Okay.
CrossFit very slow these days.
That's okay.
Yes.
Hey, listen.
Good way to describe it.
Or my question is, what do you like about? I know the answer for Chas, and I ask this question for other people all the time, but it's every answer is a little different. What do you like about CrossFit? What brought you to CrossFit?
I think the curiosity brought me. I was always someone, I remember you guys talked a little bit about running last time. I was a big runner. So initially, yeah.
This interview is over. This is over.
Peace out.
Yeah. This relationship's not going to work, Jen. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'm not a big runner anymore, so we can still be friends.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
It's going to work. It's going to work. But initially I was curious. It was like the next thing. It was kind of when CrossFit was I would say more up and coming. It had been around for a while, but gaining its popularity. So initially it was curiosity and wanting to just do something physical and something new and exciting. What kept me around, I would say, is the community. And that's, I think, still what does. As a coach, that's CrossFit draws a certain type of person and certain type of community. And it's so easy to vibe with them for the most part. So
I love it when I hear that answer and watch Chas' face. Everybody that hears that's a CrossFitter they go from, they get this grin. A little bit I can relate, because I've talked to athletes at all different stages of their career, retired, and especially the retired folks. When I talk to them, one of the things they miss is the locker room. They miss everybody's different, but everybody's got something in common. And that is such a big catalyst for the connection that we were talking about. And when I played rugby, it was almost the same way. You would have guys, nobody knew how we voted. Nobody knew how much anybody made, but we would come together 4 days a week and we did this thing together, and we were a team. And if you messed with one of us, you messed with all of us, and we all knew what it took to be at a certain level of fitness and competing. So when you say that community, I don't think a lot of sports nowadays, especially as you get older, because you can stay in CrossFit as you get older.
Yeah.
You don't lose the community just because you can't do as many pull-ups as you used to be able to do.
Right.
And that's important as you get older.
Absolutely. What was you gonna say?
I was saying that is true. I've never thought about it that way, but like, it doesn't really matter. I mean, I thought about it, but in CrossFit, it doesn't really matter if you're good or bad. You still get to be a part of the community. Whether you just started or you're a games athlete, you're still in the same community. And most sports growing up, you're only in the community if you're good.
Or you're only in the community, or you're only in the community for a few years.
Yeah, for a short period of time. And growing up, I was in so many sports that honestly, I think that drawed me to CrossFit more even than the actual movements and the competitiveness, was just that I got to actually be around people, because I'd been in LA Fitness for so long with my headphones in, not talking to anybody. And I was used to being in the locker room, like you say, with my teammates, all going for the same goal. And that's basically in CrossFit, you're all going for the same goal. Like, finish this workout, finish the game, don't die. Like, same
and I've
goal.
watched the videos, Jen, and you can relate. I mean, you've been there. When everybody else finishes something, if there's somebody else that is towards the end and they are struggling, I've watched videos where nobody else will go get water or anything. They're stopping and they're right there with them. They'll do them with them, or they'll encourage them. And I think that we as human beings act like we're badass alone, and we are. I get it. We can all bootstrap, but we crave that cheerleading team. We crave that.
Yeah.
At least
absolutely.
I think so. Hey, so what's your favorite exercise in CrossFit?
And
if you say stand-ups like everyone else just to kiss her butt, I'm going to be upset. What's your favorite?
No, anything that will make me sore, and I feel like that sounds so weird.
It does.
Yeah, I truly like deadlifts and like strict pull-ups, because it's pure strength, and you just feel like a badass when you do them.
I like deadlifts and I like pull-ups, and so I might have to talk to one of y'all because I've got a bad shoulder. So now my pull-ups are limited. I can't rotate through all the way up. And so I can only do like 3/4 or half pull-ups, and nothing feels to get to here. And it actually just gets stuck. It just won't go any further. And so now I'm like, that doesn't even count. I'm not even doing those.
No rep.
No rep. Exactly. How many did you do? 10 and 0. That's how many I did. Hey, hold on 1 second. We got comments. I try to pull them in here. And then this is from your friend Amanda. Can y'all read that?
Oh, I can do arm curls with
15-ounce cans of beans.
Does that mean
beans? I thought it said beer.
No. And does that mean I can join the CrossFit community?
Yes.
I'm not the keeper of CrossFit. These two ladies are the keepers of CrossFit.
They'll probably kick you out because they're beans and they don't eat anything with beans because it's not paleo.
You can't eat beans in CrossFit?
No, they don't.
They just do paleo.
Whoa. Stop. So we've never gone down the diet thing for CrossFit. So they're paleo only? Is that part of CrossFit? When you're a CrossFit person, it's paleo?
Not necessarily. That's just when I started, everybody was paleo and like peanuts. Beans aren't paleo.
Explain that though to people that maybe listen. What's paleo?
It is, Jen, you can explain that. You're very good at this.
Yeah, paleo is just like basically the diet of our ancestors. So you think like nuts, meat, vegetables, fruit, little sugar, little starch. So legumes, you can't eat legumes, and that's why you can't eat beans or technically peanuts. Like it's interesting. But really when you break it down, you understand that, paleo, probably like a strict paleo, doesn't really lend itself to CrossFit and high intensity workouts. So I think the community is getting away from like a strict paleo approach, but real food is still very, very highly encouraged.
Is it like, so and I'm going to say this, and this is where y'all get to smile and go, as soon as he stops talking, we're going to actually say it the right way. But there's the keto diet that's designed to get you into ketosis. How do you say it?
Yeah.
Okay, I did.
Ketosis.
And then there's the Atkins diet. Is paleo Atkins or is Atkins paleo? Or are they two separate things?
Atkins is keto.
Okay. So.
Atkins is bacon, right? I feel like that's
That's the diet I'm trying to learn. I want that. I think I'm going to try that, but I like fruit too. And I like something sweet every now and then. So I can live on bacon and apples. Maybe that's what I should do.
That's not keto. No apples.
You know what you could do with something sweet and bacon is just macros.
Yeah.
Look at you. Look at you. A little brown sugar on the bacon. Put it in the oven for a while. Now I'm hungry. All right. So when you go to work out, playlist, let's talk about music. Music's vital. So what kind of music do you listen to? Do you have default music?
It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. So I might listen to some DMX.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. I might listen to some country music.
Yes.
I love country, but not for working out.
Yeah. Really bad rap music. It just depends. It's a little bit of everything.
Chas, what do you got? What do you default to?
You're gonna kill me.
I'm not gonna kill you. I want everybody to laugh at you though. What is it?
I like musicals and Christian music and yeah. I usually do like the daily playlist thing on Spotify, so get new stuff because I tend to go to like the musicals and Disney stuff.
So you're listening to like The Lion King and
Yeah, Frozen stuff and
while you work out?
Yeah, it makes me sing. And what is the greatest? I listen to The Greatest Showman on repeat because it's got like all these like really upbeat musical things that are all about becoming and better and designing your own life. So
I'm starting to understand why you have friends around the world, but we need to get you some more friends in Boca Raton. We need to close that circle in a little bit because I'm with Jen. I've got 50 Cent. I've got House of Pain. I've got Godsmack. I've got some Jason Aldean when I get some country if I'm listening. But I've got some different stuff, but I've never tried Frozen. I may have to.
Hey, Annie Thor's daughter is a multiple times games athlete, and she listens to Disney music too. I do listen to country.
She's a freak.
She is a freak.
Yeah.
Of nature. But I do listen to country when I lift, like when I'm just doing like lifting, like just lifting. I don't know. Or I don't know the names of all the other stuff. I like beats, but I don't know the names of it.
My daughter started following Thornstein. What's her name? Because there's two of them, right? There's two or three.
There's a bunch of them. Annie Thor's daughter, Sarah Sigmund's daughter.
I think it's Annie. I'm not sure, but my daughter started following some of these folks, and I told her I was going to start doing podcasts with you and stuff. This was 6 months ago. She goes, "Do you think you could get one of them on?" And I'm like, "Oh, yeah." I'm sure they're sitting around the phone going, "Dude, I hope a guy in the southeastern part of the United States calls me to do a podcast because that would just be awesome." Hey, let's do this, Jen, if you're okay with it. I have got some screenshots from your Facebook page.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, look at Chas. That your head went sideways. Like, oh, what do you got screenshots for, Mr. Stalker? What the heck are you stalking people for? But I was just going to ask you some questions based off some screenshots, and then let you and Chas talk about them. Yeah. So you said, have you ever been told to picture yourself running a race or making a speech or doing a lift, and you compared that to losing weight? What is that? Tell people what that was about, because I'm trying to get people to go. I want people to go follow you. So tell me what that was about. Vision yourself about what?
So picturing yourself, essentially that post was about picturing yourself losing weight, because that was a conversation that was coming up a lot that week about clients not believing that they could lose weight, and as a lot of us know, and one thing that just keeps coming up for me, and it's just the body follows the mind, right? So like, if you don't think you can lose weight, then you're probably not going to, not because you're not capable of it, but because you're not going to be doing the actions that lead you to weight loss. So one of the things that Chastity does with, all of her clients that I love is she says, like, picture yourself on a beach, on an island, like in, what do you look like? What do you look like at the end of this journey? And I mean, I shouldn't say the end because it's never ending, but the idea is that, you need to be able to visualize and believe that you can do something before you try and do it.
Yeah. One of the things that Chastity does that's, I think it's in the handbook of how to create hell on earth is make you send before pictures. So before you start any kind of coaching program, if you don't want to send before pictures, don't do coaching, because before pictures, I think the best way to describe that is sucks out loud. That's take your mirror and then make it permanent on your phone. That's what that is. Yeah. That's what I see in my mirror. And now I'm going to send that to other people. Yay. That's not good. All right, let me see if I got another one for you. Another screenshot. You posted something about, well, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. You were craving a salad. That's just weird, I think. I have no idea what you were craving. Right. Were you craving a salad, really?
Oh, yeah. I love vegetables and green things. I think the more you eat it, especially like when after you have it maybe for a couple of days. Yeah, I love salads. It's really like a vehicle for like a dressing, basically, is what it is.
Well, here's what I became very disappointed. I'm starting to do better with. I like a salad. I'm just a very plain guy. So my salads don't have a ton of stuff on them. They have some basic stuff. And then I love Thousand Island. But then when you start reading labels, thanks to stupid macros, and you realize that salad dressing, I might as well just go and eat a stick of butter and be over with. Then I'm just like, well, this is stupid. So I'm just going to go eat meat and be done with it.
I am going to send you a picture of Thousand Island with 0 calories. Yes, it has some chemicals in it, but it's called Walden Farms, and you can still have Thousand Island.
God bless you.
And then add bacon to your salad, because then you can add fat that way.
And I can add maybe some berries to it.
There's always an answer to get what you want, but still reach your goals.
You also posted something real quick. If you want to feel bad about yourself, me and my daughter, this is funny. I saw this post from you, Jen. Because me and my daughter were going to do, she's with her mom the last 2 or 3 weeks, and I'm happy to get her the next couple of weeks. So I'm getting kind of excited again. My house will have some noise in it and some energy. But me and her were going to do a father-daughter challenge. We did one where we were on our knees and jumped up to our feet.
I saw that.
Well, I'm like, listen, let's give it a shot. She goes, you can't do that. You're too old. You have an artificial hip and bad knees. But I'm stubborn. So no one knows that took me 15 tries and I busted stuff, but you did. We were going to do a father-daughter challenge on how many burpees we could do in just like 10 minutes. And we set the bar. And then I come across, and by the way, this is where I think I sort of stopped liking you for a minute, because I used to love burpees. And my thing with burpees is I wanted to do 50 burpees in 4 minutes. And every morning I would get up and try to, that's a good pace.
Yeah.
You did 605 burpees in an hour.
Yeah.
That's your answer? That's a horrible answer. That's a smug, better than you answer. I don't like that answer at all. That's not a good answer. Why would you do that to us?
So we have a coaches thread, at our gym, and I forget the reason behind why a couple of them had done it, but a couple of us couldn't join in on that day. And so, when something is that bad of like an hour of burpees, it's like, how can you not say yes to that? So it was like, hey, who wants to do this with me? And I was like, well, I will.
Oh, so all of you did it?
Yeah, well, it was me and 2 other coaches. So we did it together. And I mean, it wasn't fun, but it's one of those things you can't really pass up.
So wait a minute. Okay. So was the 605 a collective score, or was that just your score?
That was my score.
Chas, you quit shaking your head and let her have a chance to lie. Dadgummit. So that was just your score. So what, did the other coaches beat that, or were you the number one leading the pack?
Oh no, I got 3rd out of us.
Oh, y'all all suck out loud. I don't like none of you now.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. So then you posted something about, and I like zucchini noodles a little bit. I'm learning how to cook them right, because if you cook zucchini noodles wrong, they're horrible. They're just terrible.
Yeah.
But you posted something that I've never. The hearts of palm linguine.
Yeah.
Okay. The floor is yours. How in the heck are you? Hearts of palm. What is that?
So I love finding just new creative ways, especially when you're in a deficit and you're trying to lose weight. You know, it's nice to find foods that don't have a lot of like calories, but you still get to eat, you know, feel like you're eating pasta. So hearts of palm is, I would say, something. Have you had hearts of palm before?
No, I've
Okay.
not had hearts of. I've had zucchini noodles. I feel like I felt progressive till you said that. Now I feel old again. No, so I've never had hearts of palms, anything. Yeah.
So it's similar to, I would say, like an artichoke heart, like the taste, consistency. And so this company was actually on Shark Tank. Um, and so it's just a low calorie like noodle, and it has a good consistency. So I didn't make it by any means. Don't worry, I didn't make that. I'm not that advanced.
So, but you said when you're in a deficit. So are you both in deficits right now?
I'm not anymore. I was, and I'm not anymore.
One of y'all explain what that means to the average person, because what I've learned after talking with y'all as long as I have is, technically speaking, what you teach people, and this is where I get to, y'all can crush me, but tracking your macros, tracking your food. First of all, you'd be surprised once you start tracking things, whether it's your money, your time, or your food, what you're really doing. But once you start tracking it, and learn the principles, you can go in and out of an air quote diets, right? You can diet, you can deficit, you can control when you get, lose the weight and when you choose to be in a range. I've got the conclusion now. I want to get to a certain point and stay within about 10 pounds, 5 up or 5 down. If I could do that, I'd be so much happier. But is that what a deficit is? Is that just a diet?
Jess, you want to go?
Somebody, hello. I've got 2 nutritional experts on the frickin' video. If I've got to answer it, we're screwed.
Yes. Being in a deficit is just a diet, and all of the diets and the fad diets out there are just tools in a toolbox that we use in order to put people into a deficit.
Deficit is you're burning off more calories than you're taking in on a daily basis.
Yes.
And it takes
Basically, yeah, your calories are lower than maintenance calories.
Yeah, I like maintenance calories.
I do too.
Well,
Me too.
yeah, we're all in agreement. Look at that. It's like we're all coaches.
But that's good. And if you're out there and you're listening to this, just know you should only diet a couple times a year anyway. So being at maintenance calories is actually where most of the time you should be.
Yeah, no one that you know has 6 packs year round. Nobody has abs 12 months out of the year, hard shredded 5%, 10%, body fat year round. Very few people.
Yeah, mostly it's just CrossFit athletes that are working out 12 hours a day and it's their full-time job. And they don't even have like bodybuilding abs shredded, like with the veins and stuff. They're eating in a maintenance calories. They just work out so much that you can see their abs.
But just between me and you, and I think even over time, if you do that for 5 years, I think that if you don't do it right and you don't really focus on long-term health, that's great now. But it's like every other person that's competitive. 10, 15, 20 years down the road, you could be paying for that if you don't do it right.
Well, I think even if you do it right, if you're going to be at the top of any performance sport or any sport in general, you're going to take years off your life. You're walking away from health and aesthetics typically when you are in some sort of performance. Just like if you want to be healthy and be a vegan and be purely healthy, you're probably not going to perform as well and you're not going to be as aesthetically pleasing. Or if you want to stand on a bodybuilding stage, you're going to take years off your life and you're not going to be able to perform either. So,
what's your favorite protein? What's your favorite protein, Jen Johnston? What do you like to go to?
Ooh, I'd say a good steak.
Steak. Well, I'm glad the audio came through. You froze up on me on the video, but your audio came through. And you know what's really odd? I think I've talked to, you're the 3rd coach. And of the 3 coaches in Chastity, the only one who doesn't pick steak on the protein is Chastity.
Yeah.
She
likes fruit.
But when it comes to protein, Chastity, aren't you an avocado or egg person?
I typically, eggs is probably my go-to.
Can you have a favorite fat?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what's your favorite fat? Y'all just act like everybody knows this. Of course you can. What's your favorite fat?
Peanut butter.
See, I thought that was a protein.
It has protein in it.
Damn it.
Yeah.
I eat peanut butter by the spoonfuls.
That adds up fast.
It's dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous. That's why we consider it a fat, because the fat content's usually about 16 grams for a couple tablespoons.
And Clint, it's good that you brought that up, because a lot of people do think that foods like that are high in protein, and while they have protein, they're not like a high protein food. And I think that's where people go wrong, is they think they're eating all this protein, because in their mind, when they think, oh, protein, they think like nuts, seeds, and it's not wrong. That's just not high protein. And so that's, like you said, to circle back, one of the things when you start tracking macros, you learn those things, and it's so useful.
And is there such a thing as quality proteins? In other words, are there foods that are best or better to get your proteins and macros from? In other words, I understand a carb is kind of a carb, but that's not true. Can a protein be a protein? Is there better ways to get your protein other than like some foods which are not as high quality?
I would say it's best to get any kind of macronutrient from real food first, meaning meat or eggs or something of that nature. If you have issues with red meat from a doctor's perspective, then maybe turkey would be better.
What do you do when you've got somebody that has, because I did, as you get older, you start realizing the problems people have because you start having problems and you're like, well, crap, everybody has this, but there's a lot of digestive problems out there. A lot of people do not absorb calories. They don't absorb the minerals from it. And it's one of those issues that nobody likes to talk about because it's embarrassing, or it's one of those, I have digestive problems. I took this drug, where they block your face out. Do y'all help people with those kind of issues too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
How?
It depends on the person. So sometimes it's a matter of like lifestyle and the types of foods they're eating. Sometimes it's, stress. Sometimes they need, a period of time to heal their gut. So I think it just depends. And some people have, more serious chronic ongoing issues versus, these one-off digestive issues that might be a little bit easier to kind of get to the bottom of. So I think it's just very like person dependent.
Do you take, do either one of y'all take probiotics, or are y'all big believers on probiotics, or do you get a lot of your stuff just from natural foods?
I take Juice Plus capsules, and I do a shake usually every day, which the doctors tell me that has probiotics and prebiotics if I get that. And then I also use a probiotic from First Form as well. But it just depends on the time of year and like how my gut's feeling if I do that. Jen, what do you do?
Yeah, I take Juice Plus as well, which, like you said, has the prebiotics and probiotics in there. But my doctor does tell me that I should take a probiotic. So I have them. I just don't take them regularly.
You know what you need? You need an accountability group. Could I invite you into a group, please? All right. What's your favorite carb? Where do you like to get your carbs from mostly? Chas is fruit. Okay. Anyway, Jen, where do you like to get your carbs from?
Ooh, tortilla chips or, kryptonite. Those are my weakness, but also like Japanese sweet potatoes. I have like such a soft spot for those things in my heart.
Well, okay, real quick, two things. First of all, you may have killed my next question was going to be what's your favorite cheap food, but what are Japanese sweet potatoes? What are those? Why are they different than regular? I don't understand.
Yeah, so in color, so they have a white flesh and like a purple skin.
Okay.
And they just have a little bit different flavor profile. So I think they're a little bit sweeter. A lot of people that don't like sweet potatoes, I tell them to try those, and they're like, oh my gosh, these are amazing.
Wow.
So, yeah.
So cheap food, is it tortillas? Is that it? Is that your cheap food?
Chips, I'd say.
Chips.
Yeah.
Chassie, what's your cheap food?
Candy.
Hey, what is that thing you were telling me you ate? This was probably in the fall of last year, but it's like ice cream, but you make it, at the time you were hooked on it every day.
Acai bowls.
Yeah. That's why I was going to try to, hey, so what's that food you take? I was going to sound dumber than I am.
It's just pureed fruit.
So that's all you do is puree fruit and that's it?
Well, it's pureed acai. Acai is a fruit. And then you put other fruit on it. And then you also put like Nutella and granola.
Can you buy it or do you have to go make it?
You can buy it. They sell it at like Costco and Publix and stuff like that, but it's not as good. It's better if you go to like a store like Playa Bowls or something like that, where they make it for you and then it's like a bowl of ice cream, but it's fruit.
Okay, we're going to have to put that up somewhere because I want to know what that even is. I've never heard of it. And it is a specific fruit?
Yeah, it's a fruit.
Okay. All right. We'll have to look that up. Cheap foods. Okay, here we go. Jen, we're close to wrapping up with you because I know you got stuff to do. What is a hard habit? So, one of the things that you guys talk about, and I think in any industry or segment of life, business, relationships, it's important to be intentional, right? If you want to have a good relationship, you got to have to put work aside and work out aside, and I got to focus on the other person. Same thing with work. But in life, there's these overall big habits we have, and sometimes they're really hard to keep. That's why people lose them. What habit do you struggle with the most, Jen?
Ooh.
Is it cussing? You cuss a lot, don't you? It's your foul. Like, no, I'm just kidding. Is it water? Is it sleep? What do you struggle with the most?
It's not water. It's not sleep. That's a good question. I don't know. Nothing stands out as like the biggest struggle for me. And I don't know, Chas, you talk to me every week. Maybe you can shed some light on it.
She's smiling.
She's like, I know.
And maybe she doesn't, but I would think that all of us, if we, and it was on the spot question, I would think all of us have something that's just like you have your favorite cheat food. I would think we have an Achilles heel, all of us. If not, Jen, another reason not to like Jen, everybody.
Oh, trust me. I've got plenty of issues.
So Chastity, does she have one or do you have one?
I think for her, it's just like all the other nutrition coaches in our company. It rotates. So like one week, it's like for some reason we can't get our water in and we just forget it. And it goes like 2 months down the road and we're like, why did I stop drinking water? Or then, all of a sudden it's like we're counting macros, but we're not really counting. We're like, maybe I'll hit my calories. Maybe I'll hit, I just don't care. Like, so you just get out of the habit. That's one of the reasons we created the BFLA challenge, is because all of us, we're not showing up in all of our habits. And we were like, one of these is a problem for all of us. So let's just hit all of these for 2 months and get our habits back on board. So usually it's one of them.
So
mine's macros. Like, I will it's protein macro specifically. I will not eat my protein and want to eat just carbs.
It sounds to me like the habit then is the main habit for all of us, whether it's in one specific area or all of them, the habit of consistency. It's being able to stick with something. Yeah. And when you have that many, and what the other thing is, you start learning that it's all a domino effect. None of these things happen in a vacuum. So if you're not sleeping, it's going to affect your energy. It's going to affect your workouts and movement. If you're not moving, it's not like you can just fix one thing that fixes everything. You know what I'm saying? These things all operate like cogs in a wheel.
That is very true.
Cogs in a gear. There's some cogs involved. I don't know. Some wheel. There's a wheel. There's a machine. All right. I've got my list right here. Let's ask you some did you know questions, shall we? Are you ready?
Ready.
You can only drink one for the rest of your life outside of water and whatever healthy freak green juice everybody drinks. So remove I've got to stick with my brand because I too drink a green drink. I'm not this. You can only pick one of the three. Beer, wine, or whiskey. Which one do you pick?
Wine.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm wine.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm a whiskey. I was expecting a beer. I was expecting like a Michelob Ultra vibe. Okay. What's the favorite way for you to eat your eggs?
Ooh, fried.
Really? Say okay. Chas?
Scrambled with cheese on a bagel with cream cheese and some jelly.
I didn't ask that's a bagel. I didn't ask what you want on your bagel. I asked how you like your eggs.
See, I like scrambled with cheese, but they're better when I put them on a bagel.
Okay. Do you like scrambled eggs, Jen?
Only if they're really well cooked.
So here's what you do. You take some eggs, you scramble them up really good. You put a little, this is going to sound crazy, not a bunch, but as you're mixing it, put in a little milk because it makes them fluffy. Put in a little steak seasoning, just a hair of the powder, just a little bit. Crumble up some really good crunchy bacon as as you're stirring it, then you scramble your eggs. That's called heaven. And then if you really want to make it better, just a little bit of ketchup. Just a little bit of ketchup. And next thing you know, you're a redneck. Thank you.
Wow.
Okay, I posted this question about 6 months ago, and literally I think I had 100 and something comments, and there were private messages, people arguing about this. You ready? Is a hot dog a sandwich? Is a hot dog a sandwich? Think about that. Uh-huh. That'll make you think right there.
I don't think so.
Jess, what were you gonna say?
I think it's a sandwich. It's
See,
meat between bread.
Yeah. I had somebody private message me, and they're like really educated, 3 degrees, and they go, dude, you're an ass. I've been arguing with this buddy of mine for 2 days back and forth on Messenger about the qualities. We're emailing each other definitions, and I go, you're welcome, people. That makes me happy.
Well, what is the definition of a sandwich? Now I feel like I need to know this.
Well, I'd have to look it up again. Back and remember, that was back in January. I posted that. I think hot dog is its own category, but if you were gonna have to put it in an umbrella, it's bread and meat, just like a ham sandwich. What's a ham sandwich? It's ham. I mean, if you tear the hot dog bun open and now it's open on both sides, is it still a hot dog, or do you go straight to sandwich at that point?
Well, let me ask you this. Is a hamburger a sandwich?
I see.
Is a soft shell taco a sandwich?
See, these are questions that'll be posted soon, thanks to both of y'all. But I think you're understanding the slippery slope. Yeah, we can argue liberal and conservative, your football team versus mine. You start trying to label my hamburger, everybody's going to get a big kiss my ass real quick on this.
Yep.
Hey, real quick, my buddy JC Groves, he posted, I feel like I need to blur out my man boobs on my before pictures. And no, JC, we all go down that road, buddy. You're good. Embrace them.
You need to work with us and get rid of the man boobs.
Well, listen, real quick. I want to tell you this, though, about him. He started a podcast back last year called The Recovering Fundamentalist. He's a pastor. He's a young guy. He started it with 2 other guys, 2 other preachers. And I told him, and I'm not Nostradamus. I was one of a handful of people that told him, dude, you guys are on to something. Because he was raised very strict fundamentalist Christian. I mean, from you, Chastity, you're from here. He went to a place called Temple.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah. Okay. Well, they come from different perspectives, these 3 pastors and co-hosts, and their podcast called The Recovering Fundamentalists. They've only had 8 releases, I think, or 10. It's taken over the world. They have over 350,000 downloads so far, I think.
Wow.
Or maybe close to 500,000. I mean, they are just tearing it up. But if you're looking for a good podcast and you're if you come from a background where I'm either this or I'm in the between, it's a great podcast because they'll talk about stuff that if you go to church every Sunday, you're going to get upset. And if you don't go to church at all, you're going to get upset. And to me, that's the sign of a really good podcast.
Oh yeah. That sounds great.
Yeah. It's a good podcast. All right. So with all that being said, let's make sure, I've got one more idea for you guys, and then we're going to make sure everybody knows how to get in touch with you. So I'm not good at starting groups. I'm okay. I've started a few groups and they've gone pretty well for different reasons, but I want to start an intermittent fasting group. But here's the deal. Wait a minute before you all giggle. Here's the deal. Here's what I want to be intermittent about. So I want to give myself not only like an 8-hour window to eat, right? Or whatever, but I also want to only give myself 8-hour or maybe even a 4-hour window where I watch TV, where I watch social media, where I watch the news. I have a 18 to 20 hour break every day from anything other than the 3 M's: music, motivation, or movement.
Wow.
Don't you think that's good?
I think that's pretty good.
Yeah, thank you for affirming me here on live video. So when we get off, y'all can text each other. Hey, what the hell was that he ended with? No, I think it would be good. I told somebody that the other day. I said, I want to start. I want to have people that we can reach out to and go, the diet is great. But one thing I think we realized the last 2 months is that diet is a huge part of our life. But the mental health side of it, I think all of us are trying to find ways to be winners. And I think if we don't realize what we put in our body fuels that, I think we're fooling ourselves. You can be great at everything else, but if you're putting crappy gas into a really nice car, it ain't going to do really good.
Nope.
Now, with that being said, somebody tell me how to reach you two people.
Jen, go ahead and tell them where your Instagram is and
Can you
Facebook.
guys hear me okay still?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. The little vacuum guy turned on.
That's great. You've got is it the automatic kind that just takes off and vacuums for you?
Oh yeah, it's the little guy, and my boyfriend put his Star Wars thing on it, so it like looks like a little Star Wars figure going around cleaning. It's pretty cool.
That is killer.
Instagram, you can find me at Jen Johnston _YT North. I'm not on the Twitters. I don't do that.
The Twitters. I don't like Twitter either. I don't know how to use it.
Yeah. And Facebook, I guess, at Jen Johnston, and then on the FLA movement website.
That's been scrolling at the bottom here, by the way, Chas, your website. Yeah,
you can see all her beautiful face and all of her credentials and all the things she's done and questions on the FLAmovement.com website. I have an Instagram that is for the business. You can also see a lot of their posts on there. FLA Movement, or it's FLA _movement. We just changed that. And then I have an Instagram, Chastity Snowden _FLA. And then my Facebook is actually Chastity Snowden Coaching, I think, right now, but we're changing that as well to FLA Movement.
Okay, here's the last word for you ladies. I don't care which one answers it, but who should call you? Who's a good person for you guys to talk to?
Ooh, Jen, go ahead.
Wait, sorry, say that again?
I said, no, I'm just kidding. Who's a good person? Who should call you? Who's a client? Who would be somebody that should pick up the phone or reach out to you through one of your social medias? Who's a good target for you?
Yeah, I would say anyone who has failed at dieting. Anyone who doesn't understand why every diet they've ever tried has failed and why they can't lose weight.
Welcome to 7 billion people now, or you're in your target audience.
Yep.
Thank you both for coming on.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
I love these conversations, and we'll go back through them. Everybody. Here's the other thing. Now that we've met all the coaches and we kind of know their backstory, we can, if y'all want to, we can pick out one thing. Just like you post some stuff specifically about a question. These don't have to be 45-minute, hour long. We can pick out one question that somebody struggled with their story. We'll come on and share 15 minutes sometimes and just keep that out there. So the door is always open to you guys because y'all are doing good stuff. So I wish y'all tons of success.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Clint.
Y'all have a great day. Bye, everybody.
Bye.